What's up, guys? I wanted to sit back and sort of talk about the free-to-play documentary that came out yesterday. If you don't know what it is, it's a Dota 2 based documentary that is surrounding the event of the International 1 that happened in 2011. This was supposed to release a long time ago. They sort of promised it after the first International, and now the International 4 is coming up. But hey, it came out yesterday. You can find it in the link in the description. And I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk about my thoughts and how much I enjoyed it, because I'm a big Dota fan. I'm a big esports fan. I'm a big fan of, just being able to do what you dream of and doing what you want to do. So I suggest you go and watch it before you hear me talk about it, because, of course, I want to be sort of spoilerish. Not completely, but, I want to express my thoughts on it fully. So you might want to watch it first. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. It's 100% worth the watch. It's free to watch completely. So 100% watch it. You have nothing to lose, because Dota 2 is an amazing game. The pro scene has amazing people and amazing players. And why don't we get into it? Basically, the movie follows three main pro players: Dendi, Hi, and Fear. They're all from three different parts of the world, and they all have their own story, of course, but you see them go through this journey of preparing for the International. And the International being this huge event. I mean, before, Dota was, a pretty big esport, a pretty big competitive game, but before the International, nothing was like that. There was no $1 million prize pool tournament like the International. So when that blew people away, it was insane. And the pressure of these players going up to it and how much they put on the line for this tournament was crazy. It was mind-blowing. And I can't help but relate. I can't help but feel for these people who put their hearts into being the best in the world at something, to putting everything financially, physically, in their soul, just putting everything towards it and putting their hope in it that it will work out, because there's no guarantee that it would. Tomorrow they could wake up and their house could be foreclosed, or, they could get kicked out of college because they're putting too much time into what they really actually care about. And I understand that fear, and I understand that worry, and I understand that completely. I've tried doing it myself, and I've considered trying it professionally, but of course, I've never given it a super serious go. I still have that relation because of my Let's Plays, because of my videos. I've always just put everything into them, because more than anything, I want to be able to become a content producer. And I've been doubted so much because of that. I have been underestimated, I have been thought down upon because of it. And while that's happened, I've never really given up on the idea. I mean, the fact that you're seeing this video obviously proves that. But I have this strong sense of relation with people who have suffered through negativity and suffered through doubt and self-doubt and all of this pressure put on them, and they survive, they succeed, and they become what they were looking to be. Because, I want to do that with my life. I want to, be something and succeed at something, even though I'm being, incredibly doubted in many different situations. But the movie itself was great. The only thing I really had to complain about is how late it came out. Of course, good things come to those who wait, so the movie, the documentary was really cool. It was really amazing. It was really worth watching and worth waiting at the end of the day. But it was hard trying to jog my memory of the first International. I feel like there were better Internationals, and of course better Internationals to come, which is like, no duh, it was their first one. But, I feel like it would be nice to have more of these, something similar, a similar experience. And honestly, I feel like this could arguably be better, or at least equal to Indie Game the movie. Of course, they cover different topics, but they're sort of very similar in nature and what they cover. So I feel like this definitely is a competitor, especially since it doesn't cost any money. But Valve, if you release a soundtrack of this, documentary, I'm guessing you made all the music yourself. If you release a soundtrack, I don't care how much you make it, I'm gonna buy that up. But okay. And it was amazing seeing this build up and this sense of pressure as these players got ready for essentially one of the biggest moments of their lives, possibly the biggest break of their lives, becoming the only people ever in history at that point to become what they want to be in that industry, the industry of esports. And It's crazy, especially in Dota 2, because, it just didn't exist then. And you see these things and it blows your mind, this amazing opportunity. And you just see these players break down as they think to themselves, I can't mess up. I can't take no as an answer anymore, because they're on their last sort of like breath. Fear was a player in the video, and he was kicked out of his house. How is he going to afford to live if it wasn't for winning the tournament or getting some type of prize pool? Hi was in college. He was skipping his exam finals for this. He could have got kicked out of college. You just see that type of struggle and you're like, wow, it's insane. And it's such a feel-good movie in my opinion. Of course, not every ending in it is happy because it follows several people's stories and there can only be one winner. But I love it so much. I enjoyed watching it, and I definitely want to watch it again sometime very soon. But I definitely think this movie will open doors for people. It opens the doors to the lives of pro players for Dota fans already. If you love esports, if you love Dota 2, and you want to watch this movie, go right ahead, because it'll show you the pressures and the real life scenarios that playing professionally will give you. But this is also an amazing experience for those who've never heard of Dota or may have never looked into esports, because it shows you, once again, those pressures, but also the good sides, the thrills, the chills, the experience it gives you like no other, because these people, they don't just want a paycheck. Because if they wanted a paycheck, they'd go to school and they'd go do something they're not as interested in or not as good at. Because it's like you have to be invested and put more work than what you're getting paid for a professional gamer. And you really have to love it. And the same thing with, like I was saying earlier, how I feel like I want to work something like that out with my stuff. It's like, when it comes to things like that most people underestimate, especially in like the gaming industry, people underestimate that you couldn't do this just because you want to play games for a living. You have to love it. You have to love it to be respected. You have to love it to actually make it somewhere. But it was a great movie. I feel like if you've never played a esport game or you've never played Dota 2, it's just as much worth seeing if you've spent every moment of your life playing Dota 2. It's a great movie. Valve's done it again. And I really hope to see more content like this in the future. Indie Game the Movie and Free-to-Play Documentary are two great examples about how film documentary can hit the video game industry in a very good and proper way. So, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.